Hi everybody, welcome. It's Justine from Quabbin Valley Yoga. I'm going to take you through a little practice right now. We're going to do a flow yoga class. I'm happy to be able to start doing this for you all. So we'll see how this goes and stay connected. I'm hoping to do some live Zoom classes. My first one is scheduled for Friday. So stay in touch. Let me know if you have any questions and let's get started with our practice today. So make your way to your mat. We're not going to use any props today, so don't worry, you don't need anything. The only thing that you might need, you might find helpful would be a blanket or a small pillow just to pad your knees as we do a couple of things that bring us down onto our knees, sometimes one knee, sometimes both. I'm not going to use any props here today just so you can see how I move through my practice without any props. But if you do want to have something with you, maybe just have a blanket on hand. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start standing at the top of your mat. So make your way to the top of your mat, of your space, and settling in. Feet are going to be hips width distance apart. All 10 toes are facing forward. Start to spread your toes, connect your feet down into the mat, and stand up nice and tall. Feel the belly button draw in and up just a little bit so the chest kind of puffs up. And when you do this, when you make this connection to your abdominals, lifting up through the heart center, you might feel those shoulders start to draw back and down the spine. We'll find a little stillness here, so your palms can rest by your sides. Spread your fingers, reaching your palms forward. And then reaching up through the very top of your head, the crown of your head. Gaze is straight ahead for now to start as we find this alignment, our mountain pose here, our perfect standing posture. So feeling right away the joints are stacking. Hips are over the ankles, shoulders are over the hips. And we have this really nice alignment here as we settle into our bodies. So you can keep your eyes open or you can lightly close them as you start to arrive into your body. And you're probably practicing from home. There might be distractions, there might be noises. Just do what you can. If you need to pause and come back, that's perfectly fine. But let go of the need for this to be perfect. Let go of any judgment. And just use this time to be here, to practice self-care, to practice movement. And we'll start to work through the breath a little bit here before we dive into some movement. So together, let's take a big breath in through the nose. And sigh it away through the mouth. These might be the first big breaths you've taken all day, so let's do it a couple more times. Inhale through the nose. Sigh it away through the mouth. Do that again. Inhale through the nose. And sigh it away. Beautiful. So you can lightly open your eyes. We're going to keep that movement of the breath going, but we're going to start to move the body a little bit. So as you connect to that breath, this time move it in and out through your nose, and you can move with me. Inhale through the nose as you reach your arms up towards the ceiling. And then exhale through your nose as you sweep those arms back down by your side. 2 more times. Inhale, sweep the arms high. Exhale, let them come back down. Let's do 1 more of these breaths. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, come back down. Maybe shake out the wrists, shake out the shoulders, loosen up through the knees. We really connect to the body, so feel free to shake it out a little bit, maybe get fully into it, shake your whole body. And then as you're ready, let's find a little stillness. Take a big breath in, sweep those arms up towards the ceiling. We're going to bring the palms together to touch. Interlace your fingers, release your index fingers, find a little lift, reaching up. And then we're going to hinge to the left, side body stretch here. So hinging to the left, stretching to the right side of your body. Keep your heart opening. Your gaze might fall under that right arm. Feel the heart spinning open, rooting down through your feet, and we're using this to deepen our breath. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out through the nose. Beautiful. Inhale, come back to center, reach up. Exhale, take it over to the opposite side. So hinging to the right, stretching through the left, gaze can fall under that left arm. Heart is open, feet are firmly planted. Big inhale. Full exhale. Awesome. Inhale, come back up through center. We're going to release the arms, but keep them reaching up. Finding that length, full body stretch here. Settle into your breath. We're going to take another full breath in. And then exhale, sink your hips back and down, taking this right into a chair pose. So those arms, your biceps, those big muscles in your arms are going to stay right up by your ears. Spread your fingers, almost as if you had a block in between your hands. Imagine pressing into that block. Fire up those muscles in your arms. And now we're starting to engage those quadricep muscles in our legs. Keep the hips sinking back and down. The knees are going to be behind the toes, so when you look down, you should be able to see your feet. Maybe wiggle your toes. They might float up a little bit. Beautiful. Take a full breath in. Full breath out. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, we're going to fold forward. So let the belly fold onto the thighs. Hands can come down towards the mat. Head will hang heavy. Neck is nice and long. So you'll notice your knees are probably very, very bent here. Mine are. I'm taking it from chair to forward fold. It's okay to keep your knees as bent as you need to. And we'll play around with our first forward fold. So your feet are still hips width distance apart. Head is hanging heavy. Hands can stay on the mat, or you can grab opposite elbows and hang in a ragdoll. And then maybe pedal it out. Straighten one leg and then the other. My hamstrings are always very tight, those muscles in the back of my legs. So I bend my knees a lot in this, and you might do the same. That's okay. Especially this first one. Especially if you haven't been practicing. So find your breath. Maybe rock a little side to side, shake your head back and forth. And I encourage you, try not to necessarily look at what I'm doing. I'm following along with you, but I really want you to feel into your own body. Trust that you're doing this right. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's release the hands down towards the mat. We're going to take a halfway lift from here. So hands can come to fingertips or to your shins. Reach the crown of the head forward. So you're finding that nice long spine here. Gaze is down at the floor. Pause. Continue to build your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Take one more full breath in. And then exhale, fold forward once again. We're going to do that one more time. One breath to one movement. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Awesome. Inhale, halfway lift. Crown of the head will reach. This time, bend your knees, plant your hands to the mat, and then step your way back to downward facing dog. So you're going to keep your feet in that hips width distance alignment as you step them back towards the back of your mat. Lift your hips up and back towards the wall behind you, taking this A shape in downward facing dog. First downward facing dog, maybe first one of your whole quarantine. So embrace it, be mindful, take it easy, pedal it out. Bend one knee and then the other. Spread your fingers, press your hands into the mat. And then find a little stillness here. Feeling those heels drawing down towards the mat. Spine is nice and long. Your gaze is probably at your knees, maybe your shins. There's length in the back of your neck. And so together, we're going to move through a little bit of a vinyasa flow here, and I'm going to do these very mild, very, very gentle throughout this practice, but feel free to intensify, modify anything as you need it. So let's glide forward, come to a high push-up. Shoulders are going to stack over your wrists, pressing through your heels, legs are strong and engaged. If you need to modify, please drop your knees down to the mat and untuck your toes and take your high push-up, your plank pose that way. So I'm going to modify this first one, and I might modify mine throughout this practice just because I'm talking and practicing at the same time. So I really want you to feel into your own body, not necessarily do what I'm doing. Engage those abdominal muscles. Yes, we're pausing here. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Let's take another big breath in. And then exhale, lower yourself slowly all the way down to the mat. So everything is going to come down to the mat. Hands are going to stay where they are. Maybe slide them back a little bit. Pin your elbows towards each other. And then press into the tops of your feet, engaging all those muscles in your legs. We're going to take a baby back bend here. So as you're ready, take an inhale, lift up, head, neck, chest. Baby cobra, gazes down at the floor, neck is long, pause, exhale. Deep breath in. And then exhale, lower back down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift up, head, neck, chest. Exhale, lower back down. We're going to take another back bend. You can stick with that baby cobra or maybe try for an extended cobra. Again, be mindful of how you feel. Go slow, go at your own pace. Inhale, lift up, head, neck, chest. Maybe press into the hands and lift the belly up for your extended cobra. Keep those elbows pinning. Gaze is probably still down at the floor or it's straight ahead. We're not looking up. We're creating nice integrity in the spine. Breathe in. And then exhale, lower back down. Awesome. Let's press up to tabletop, hands and knees. Finding that alignment here, shoulders are stacking over the wrists, hips are stacking over the knees. Take a minute, sway the hips a little side to side, rock the head back and forth. Maybe even move through a couple of cat and cow poses here, just to loosen up that spine a little bit more. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart. Exhale, tuck the chin, round the spine, tuck the tailbone under, moving through cat and cow, maybe 3 or 4 of these at your own pace. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, round the spine. Beautiful. Maybe take one more. Own pace. Breathe. All right, and then from here, let's walk the hands forward. Draw the big toes together to touch behind you and sink your hips down into a child's pose. Your forehead is going to come to rest on the mat. Maybe it comes to that blanket you have with you or that pillow. Let it rest on something. If it's not comfortable on the mat and you don't have a pillow, you can also rest your forehead on your hands, on your fists, or have your hands flat. Whatever gives you support. This is supposed to be a resting and a supportive pose, so make sure you're doing that for yourself. Keep that breath active, and we're just here to experience this pose so that you know if you need rest, you can come here at any time during this practice. Child's pose is always here for you. So as you're ready, take your time. Let's meet back in downward facing dog. Being mindful of how you move your body. Lifting those hips up and back. Maybe pedal it out again. And we're gonna move through a little bit of a sun salutation. So let's find a little stillness in that downward facing dog. Press into your hands. Lift your hips up and back. Take a full breath in. And a full breath out. And soften into your knees. Look up to your hands and walk, hop, or lightly jump to get to the top of your mat. This time, if you'd like, your feet can come together to touch, big toes touching, little space between the heels. Find your forward fold, pausing here. Then inhale, come to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root down, rise up, come all the way to standing, sweep those arms high. And then exhale, fold forward once again. Nice long spine all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands to the mat. Step your way back to downward facing dog. We're going to move through our first vinyasa here together. Inhale, glide forward, come to your high push-up. You can always drop your knees to modify. Use your exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Draw those elbows in. Untuck your toes, tops of the feet will press down, and then inhale, lift up, head, neck, chest, maybe the belly. Then use your exhale, push your way back to downward facing dog. So I'm gonna go with my cueing, but I want you to go at your own pace. One movement to one breath. Don't worry if you're ahead or behind me, it's okay. So from here, let's come to tabletop. So drop those knees down to the mat. We're gonna move through a few different postures here. And I wanna start modified, just so you can keep this integrity in your body and really engage your muscles as we move through these poses here. So we're gonna step the right foot forward, maybe bring your hands to fingertips, step that right foot in between your hands, taking your modified runner's lunge. So your hands can come to fingertips. If you have anything to support your hands, like blocks or even books or anything else, you're welcome to put those under your hands. And there's no right or wrong. Whatever's gonna support you the best will work for me. And we're gonna stay here modified for just a moment. Finding your breath again, deep breath in. Full breath out. Take one more, inhale. And exhale. And then plant your left hand onto the mat, the inside of that right foot. So again, that hand can come to a book, a block, maybe your blanket, anything that might support you. And then sweep that right arm out and up, taking a twist to the right. So your gaze can shift to the right. Maybe it shifts up to that lifted hand. Breathe here, gentle twist. Thinking about your hips, keep them square. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's take one more inhale. And then exhale, come back down. Now, you have two choices. You can stay here modified with that back knee down on the mat, or you can tuck the toes of that back foot and lift that knee up off the mat, taking your full runner's lunge. So either way is perfectly fine. Take what you need. We're gonna hold this for 3 breaths. So you can stay here either with your hands down, or you can sweep them up and back, taking your airplane arms. You can always drop that back knee or lift it up whenever you need. Let's take 2 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. One more deep breath in. Full breath out. Beautiful. Now we're going to sweep those arms down and around, carry them up to a crescent lunge, high lunge. You can still drop that back knee if you need to. Again, engage those hips, square them forward. Shoulders are also square. Chest is lifted. Fire up the leg muscles so everything's really active and engaged. Breathe here. Now your gaze can be straight ahead. You can challenge your balance a little bit more by shifting it up towards the ceiling. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's take one more. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, release those hands down to the mat. Step it back, downward facing dog. So you can stay here. You can take child's pose, or you can flow through the vinyasa with me. Inhale, come forward, high push-up. Exhale, lower slowly down to the mat. Tops of the feet will press. Inhale for your back bend. And then exhale, make your way back, downward facing dog. Pedal it out. If you're taking rest, take your rest. Big breath in. Sigh it away. And then we're going to drop those knees again, come back to tabletop. So we're going to switch sides. Bring those hands to fingertips. Guide that left foot forward in between your hands, taking your lunge on this side. So that left knee is stacking over that left ankle. This is that place if you need to pad that back knee, you can put a blanket, maybe a pillow under that knee. We're finding our alignment here, pausing for the breath. Deep breath in, full breath out. And then you're going to plant that right hand on the mat to the inside of that left foot. Take your twist to the left. Left arm is opening out and up. Gaze can also shift to the left, or maybe it shifts to that lifted hand. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2 more. Last full breath in. And then exhale, come back down to center. So again, you have options. You can stay just like this if this feels like enough for you, or you can tuck the toes of that back foot, lift that knee up off of the mat, taking your runner's lunge. And then for the last 2 breaths, we're gonna pause. You can keep your hands down or sweep them up and back for your airplane arms. You're still in that lunge. Gaze is down at the floor. And remember, you can lower that back knee anytime you need to. Breathe in. Breathe out. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Awesome. Now sweep those hands down and around. Let them carry you up to a high lunge. Same thing here. You can always drop that back knee if you need to. Draw that belly button in. Lift the chest. Engage your muscles in your legs. So strong here. And then maybe lift that gaze up towards the ceiling. Challenge your balance, your strength, and breathe. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Take 1 more. Inhale. And then exhale. Release those hands down to the mat. Step it back. Downward facing dog. Same thing here. You can stay. You can take child's pose, or you can flow. Inhale, glide forward, high, push up. Exhale, lower slowly down to the mat. So slow. Tops of your feet will press as you lift up, head, neck, chest, maybe the belly. And then let your exhale carry you back, downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Take what you need. If you need to take a child's pose, you're welcome to do that. When you're ready, let's meet back in downward facing dog. And we're going to go through another little bit of a flow here. 1 breath to 1 movement. Go at your own pace. Soften into those knees. Look up to your hands. Make your way to the top of the mat. Big toes can come together to touch. Find your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it out. Inhale, rise up. Come all the way to standing. And then exhale, sink into your chair pose. Hands can come together in front of your heart. Just a breath here. Full breath in. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Stay or flow. Inhale, come forward, high push up. Exhale, lower slowly down to the mat. Inhale, lift up for your back bend. And then exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Same thing here, take a moment. If you need child's pose, you're welcome to take it. You can find rest in downward facing dog, do that too. I'm going to take us through 1 more standing sequence. So let's meet back in downward facing dog as you're ready. Take your time. Now, from your downward facing dog, bring your big toes closer together so your feet are a little bit closer together. Root down through that left foot and sweep that right foot up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in. And then use your breath out to draw that knee towards the chest, glide forward, step into your runner's lunge. So it might take a couple of steps to get there, that's okay. Same thing here, find that alignment. That knee is over the ankle, you're on the ball of that back foot. And then rise up, come to your crescent lunge. Find that nice, beautiful lift. Legs are strong, inhale. And then exhale, we're gonna open up to warrior two. So there's not too much shifting. That back foot is gonna spin open. So now it's parallel to the short end of your mat. You should still have that really nice lunge in the front knee. Knee is over the ankle. We wanna get that thigh parallel to the mat, if you can. And then arms are opening in opposite directions. Shoulders are over the hips. Gaze is over that right hand. And you're breathing. I'm definitely warming up, so hopefully you are too. Soften your shoulders, relax your jaw. Now look to that front hand, that right hand, and flip that palm to face up. Inhale, reach that arm up and back to reverse your warrior. Keep your lunge. We like to straighten that front knee. See if you can almost deepen that lunge as you find this little bit of lift. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's take one more. Inhale. And then exhale, windmill your way around a side angle pose. So that right forearm is going to come to the right thigh. Keep that lunge. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling, or maybe it reaches over your ear towards the front of your space. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2 more breaths here. 1 more. Make our way back to warrior two. Flip that front palm, inhale, sweep it up and back. And then exhale, windmill those hands down to the mat, step it back, downward facing dog. Your choice, you can stay or you can flow. Inhale, glide forward, high, push up. Exhale, lower slowly down to the mat. Inhale, tops of the feet will press, lift up. And then exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Awesome. Bring your feet closer together to touch. Lift that left leg up on the inhale. On the exhale, step it through runner's lunge. Take your time. Find that alignment. Left knee is over the ankle, strong in that back leg. And then when you're ready, come up to your crescent lunge. Same thing here. Find that stability. And then take your inhale. And then use your exhale, open up to warrior two on this side. Keep breathing here. And you guys hold this for just another second. I have to click something on my video here. Awesome, all right. So from your warrior two, look to that left hand. We're gonna flip that palm to face up. Inhale, sweep it up and back, reverse your warrior. Feeling that nice length through the side of your body. Keep that lunge in that left leg. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take another inhale. And then exhale, windmill around, side angle pose. Left forearm comes to the thigh, right arm reaches high. Gaze can shift up to that lifted hand. That right hand can reach over your ear towards the front of the room, front of your mat. Let's take 2 more big breaths here. 1 more. All right, let's come back up. Warrior two. Flip that front hand, lift it up, inhale. Exhale, windmill those hands down to the mat. Step your way back to downward facing dog. Your choice, you can stay or you can flow. Inhale, glide forward, come to your high push-up. Exhale, lower slowly down to the mat. Tops of the feet will press. Inhale, lift up, head, neck, chest, maybe the belly. And then exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Let's pedal it out. Full breath in. Full breath out. And let's drop our knees down to the mat. Bring those big toes together to touch behind you. Sink your hips down onto the heels and pause in child's pose. And take a moment here. I just need to adjust my phone so that I can make sure I don't lose you guys in the middle of this class. So feel free to just pause here in this child's pose. No need to rush anything and really just listen to how your body is feeling. Awesome, okay. So from your child's pose, you're welcome to take your time here, but whenever you're ready, we're gonna meet back in downward facing dog. So making your way there, pedaling it out again, resetting your breath. Noticing that doing video yoga classes has certainly not been my thing, so I appreciate you guys being here and trying this out with me. So we're gonna flow again here, and then we'll make our way down to the mat. So soften into your knees, look up to your hands, walk, hop, or jump to get to the top of your mat. Big toes can come together to touch. Find your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it out. Inhale, reach up, come all the way to standing. And then exhale, find that chair pose. Beautiful. So we're going to keep those hips sinking back and down. The heart is lifted. You're welcome to stay here, or you're welcome to play around with twisting with me. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the hands out in front, keep the palms together, and then sweep them over to the right. So you're going to hook either your wrist, your forearm, or maybe your elbow to the outer thigh. The goal here is we want to keep the hips lower than the heart, so that might mean you just hook your forearm or your wrist, and that's okay. And maybe this is as far as you want to take this twist, otherwise you can open your arms, open your heart, twisting everything to the right. Breathing in, and breathing out. Let's take 2 more breaths here, keep those hips down, heart is lifted, full breath in. Full breath out. And 1 more. Inhale. And then exhale, fold it out. Let your head hang heavy. Separate your feet hips width distance. We'll take a forward fold. So you can take ragdoll, grab onto opposite elbows, sway a little side to side. If you want to take a deeper forward fold, you can take your 2 peace fingers, wrap them around your big toes, make a bind. So I like to make this bind and then reach my head forward for a halfway lift. And then with that long, flat spine, use this bind to pull your belly over your thighs. Head will then hang heavy. Pretty intense. Let's take a breath in. And then release that. Exhale, bring those feet back together to touch. Big toes will touch, little space between the heels. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it out. Inhale, rise up. Come all the way to standing. And then exhale, find your mountain pose. Shake it out. Make sure that breath is still flowing strong. All right, inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, sink into your chair pose. Hands can come together in front of your heart. So remember, you can stay here holding your chair pose, or you can take a twist. If you're taking the twist, let's bring those hands out in front and then sweep them over to the left. Same thing here, start with that wrist against your outer thigh, then maybe sink those hips a little lower, try to hook the forearm. You're welcome to sink them even more and hook that elbow. I'm gonna stay a little bit more lifted. Hips stay below the heart, and then maybe staying here, or maybe open those arms to twist to the left. Breathing in, breathing out. 2 more. Last one. And then exhale, fold it out. Again here, separate those feet, hips width distance. We'll take about 4 breaths. Take any version of your forward fold that you would like. You can take a bind, maybe just hang in ragdoll, which is what I'm gonna do. Two more. Last one, full breath in. And exhale, release your hands, release your bind. Toe heel your feet back together to touch. Big toes touch, little space between the heels. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it out. Inhale, root down, rise up, come all the way to standing, sweep the arms high. And then exhale, mountain pose. Take a second, shake it all out. All right, we're gonna do one more flow here and then we'll start to slow it down a little bit. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward, fold it out, head will hang heavy. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. You can stay or you can flow for the last one. Inhale, glide forward, high push up. Exhale, lower slowly down to the mat, elbows draw together. Inhale, find your back bend. And then exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Last one, pedal it out. All right, together from downward dog, let's glide forward, come to a high push-up. Plank pose, you can always drop your knees, but we're gonna hold it, and we're gonna lower very, very slowly. So feel your abdominal muscles working, fire up your quadriceps, your thigh muscles. And then breathe. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, let's lower so super, super slow. All the way down to the mat. Awesome. Untuck your feet, press into the tops of your feet. And we want our feet to be about hips width distance apart. So what I like to do is bring my feet together to touch and then separate them just a couple of inches. Because we often think hips width distance is a lot wider than it is. We're gonna take a locust pose here. So your arms, your hands are right by your shoulders right now. Let's reach them down by our sides so the palms are pressing into the mat. And your gaze is down at the mat, head is nice and square. And we're gonna come into a little bit of a back bend, locust pose here. So take an inhale, lift up head, neck, and chest. Gaze is gonna stay at the floor. Hands will then float up, and then your feet will float up. So we wanna go for length, reaching through the toes, reaching through the crown of the head, and then height. Hands, feet float up. Breathe in, breathe out. One more, inhale, lift up, and then exhale, let it go. Bring those hands back underneath your shoulders, and let's press up to tabletop. And this time we're gonna bring the knees and the feet together to touch, sink the hips back onto the heels, take a child's pose this way. So again, your forehead can come to rest on your palms. You can put a blanket under it. Or you can sweep your arms down by your sides, maybe grabbing onto your feet. Keep your breath active and strong. All right, let's come back to tabletop. And however you'd like to get there, we're going to swing the legs around or maybe just sit back, come to seated. Bring your legs out in front of you. We'll do a couple of things here before we really slow down. So sit up nice and tall, maybe pull your seat out a little bit. I'm going to flex into the feet. I'm going to take a little bit of another hamstring stretch here, seated forward fold. So sweep those arms up by the ears, take a big breath in. And then exhale, fold forward. So you can grab onto your big toes with your hands. You can grab onto your feet, your ankles, your shins, the mat, whatever's going to give you the best support. We want to try to keep that spine nice and long, so your knees might soften a little bit. You might not fold that deep, and that's okay. Breathe here. Full breath in. Full breath out. Let's come back up to seated. And as you come up, draw those knees up too so your feet plant onto the mat. So feet are together, knees are bent, sit up nice and tall. Hands are on your thighs, the back of your thighs. We're going to take our boat pose. So to shift that weight back into your seat as you float your feet up in the air. And this might be where you stay, and that's perfectly fine. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can reach your arms out by your sides. And then maybe work towards straightening your legs. Oh, and it's been a while since I've done this, so don't worry if you can't go too far. Breathe in. Breathe out. Your legs might start to shake. Full breath in. Full breath out. Take one more inhale. And exhale, come down. Awesome. Straighten into your legs. Make your way all the way onto your back. Let yourself melt downward into the mat. I just want to make sure you guys can see me. So don't worry, you don't need to be looking at me anyway. Listen to your body and just listen to my cues. So we're going to take a nice full body stretch here. So reach through your feet, sweep your arms up overhead, reaching through your fingertips. Full breath in. Full breath out. Let's bring those arms down by the sides. We're going to bend the knees, bring the feet up towards the sit bones. We'll take a couple of bridge poses here. So your feet are drawing up towards your sit bones, but they don't have to be super, super close. Feel your shoulder blades draw together underneath you and press into your palms. Head and neck are nice and square, nice and straight in alignment. And just keep your neck nice and neutral, so don't tuck your chin here. And then we're going to start to lift those hips up towards the ceiling. We're going to hold this for about 5 breaths. So I want you to feel into your body, spread your toes, press into your feet. Maybe drawing those shoulder blades closer together, keep the neck neutral. Take about 3 more breaths. Full breath in. Full breath out. We'll take one more inhale, lift those hips. And exhale, slowly lower them back down to the mat. And draw your knees up towards your chest. Give yourself a nice full body hug. Rock a little side to side. Maybe circle your knees to massage out your lower back. Maybe even rotate out your ankles, your feet and your ankles here. And as we rock a little side to side, we'll take this into a supine twist. So rock your knees back and forth and then let them fall to the right. Open your arms to a T and let your gaze fall to the left. Start to close your eyes. Let go of that need to be doing anything. Send yourself gratitude for making this time to practice yoga. It's not easy to hold yourself accountable to these practices at home. I know it's always challenging for me. But if you've made it this far, you've done it, you've practiced. Let's bring those knees back through center, realign your hips, and take them over to the opposite side. Arms can open wide, gaze will fall to the right. And let your breath start to soften. And then we'll bring those knees back through center. Squeeze them in one more time. And then if there's anything that you'd like to do to close out your own practice, you're welcome to do that now. So if you'd like to maybe lift your legs up towards the ceiling, take a gentle inversion, or maybe bring the bottoms of your feet together to touch, let your knees fall wide, open your hips up a little bit. We didn't really do too much, really anything with hip opening. Maybe we'll do that next time. But I want you to let this last posture that you take be mindful, be something that's going to support your body. And let yourself start to transition for the end of your practice. Let the eyes be closed. Let the breath start to soften. And then as you're ready, you're welcome to make your way to Shavasana, to your final pose of your practice. And I'm going to stay seated, and that might be where you choose to go, or maybe you choose to lie flat on your mat. Again, this is a place where you can be comfortable. This is your closing posture, your final posture of your practice. So let it be supportive for you. I'm going to stay here seated and walk you through a little bit of a body scan as you settle in, as you allow yourself to sort of practice meditation, practice being still, and closing out your practice. So however you have your body placed, let your eyes be closed. Honor these last couple of moments that you're here in this practice, in your body, connected to the moment. Knowing that, yes, there might be distractions around you, there might be things on your to-do list or simply worries that are in the back of your mind. See if you can let that go as you fully connect to how your body feels today. Start by softening that space between your eyebrows. Separate the bottom jaw from the top. Let your tongue relax within the mouth. Feel the muscles in the neck relax and soften as you feel the shoulders melting into the mat, maybe melting downward. Relax through the muscles of the chest, the belly, shoulder blades, all those muscles in your arms. Feeling your hands soften. And watching your breath move at its own natural pace and rhythm. Nothing else to do, nowhere else to be right now. And walk this awareness all the way through your legs into your feet. Sending gratitude to your body. We'll take the next minute to just be here. and start to come back. However, you can stay here as long as you need to, taking your time, coming back to your body, back to the room that you are in. And I just want to thank you for taking this time to be here with me, to practice with me. So stay connected, follow me on Facebook. I will continue to post these videos and I will be starting some live sessions. So thank you all so much. Namaste.